Well, okay, it's 4 o'clock again. Ding dong. You know what time it must be. It's time to hear something good. And this incredible human being behind the glasses and the hat next to me is a new friend, a guy that entered the Noodleberg world less than 60 days ago. And man, am I glad he did. He's made an unbelievable impact on me. He is as unique as they come, but as genuine and authentic as they come. I cannot wait for my man JC to tell us something good. And I want to hear who you are, what you're doing, and how you're impacting the world, my friend.
Awesome. Well, right away, I should probably just say that, you're good. When you ask me to tell, it's funny because I speak all the time, and I say, this guy's going to ask me what's good. Tell me something good, and you're good, man. Because
I'm humbled.
When I first met you, there's very few people in this world that add value. I mean, I can learn something from anybody, but every now and then you walk around and you bump into people, which is always miraculous. How did, out of the 6 billion people in the world, I could tell you that, yeah, my friend Howie introduced us, but that's not how it happened, So, I always like to start off coming from a place of gratitude. So today I'll start off just saying it's great to meet you. And since the day I met you, I've just watched you do nothing but perform, nothing but serve, nothing but help other people, which led me to taking this LinkedIn course, which I wasn't even sure if I needed to learn about LinkedIn. It turns out I did, but I just wanted to be there, and looked like you just phased out and came back in. But so you're good, man, and we'll call you Gudelberg or something. So. It's funny when you ask that question, tell me something good. I practiced for a long time. Everybody can see my name is Dragon, but I used to be called Dr. JC Doornick. And when you're practicing as a doctor, patients would come in and you typically say, how are you doing? Which is a really stupid question to ask a patient because then they'll start saying, so I adapted my own idea, my own question, so if I ever have you on a show, I will ask you, tell me something new and exciting. And
I love it.
When you approach people in life and you say, tell me something new and exciting, or what's new and exciting, it kind of makes them stop and say, like, what are you talking about right now? I don't malfunction right now, and I just say it's only something good, So I love that. That's my long-winded approach of saying, thanks for having me on the show. So, I figured one of the things that I could say to answer that question that would be of value to people watching is that it's all good. So just, marinate on that for a second. It's all good. Because I could pick anything out of my life, good or bad, positive or negative, friendly or evil, comfortable or uncomfortable, and tell you that it's all good. And I learned that the hard way. In life, I've always been enamored by, success, and I've read every book in the world. I have put tons and tons of time and money into listening to amazing minds like yourself and so many others, just learning the secrets of getting there. And boy, was I completely wrong in how we actually get to that tippy top of the mountain, where when you finally get up to the tippy top of the mountain and you meet these other amazing individuals that have the money. And by the way, success, I used to think was money, but oh boy, that's wrong. Right?
Oh boy, right.
Oh boy. So I'm talking about this tippy top with this little group of people. When you meet them and you say, how did you get here? That's what happens and I know you're a big public speaker and stuff. So when you have the opportunity to get on these big stages like we do, you meet these people backstage, that have the money, they have the happiness, they've got their shit together, their priorities and whatnot, with their family, the things that matter most, and they're happy and they're healthy, right? So I know a lot of people that have the money, they claim to be happy, but they're totally out of integrity. So they're not at the top of the mountain. And I also want to give a quick shout out to you, because I've watched you over the past 60 days since we've met, just completely transformed.
It's unbelievable.
I would assume people are walking up to you, either asking, are you dying or getting healthy? You know,
Yeah, man. That's why I got out in the sun, because I mean, literally the plan that hopefully you're going to talk about fit right into my world of process, and and that's you're talking about how do people get to the mountain. It ain't by accident. That's for damn sure.
only on a healthy body rests a healthy mind.
Um,
It's a big, massive flaw in personal growth. You know, a lot of people go on to learn, but they don't end up earning, right? Because they never actually do something. Funny story about that. I remember I went to a Tony Robbins. I love Tony Robbins. Love all those big giants, but I remember I went to this Awaken the Giant Within, and during lunch I saw people getting high. I saw people drinking alcohol. I was just like, malfunction, So here's my point. This is what I want to share with people when you ask me that, tell me something good, and I say it's all good. Isn't it mysterious how the universe, God, whatever it is that you refer to that as, isn't it mysterious how everything that we desire, now this is what the group at the top of the mountain is talking about, everything that we desire is mysteriously placed right strategically on the other side of a pile of shit in life, right?
All right.
So here we are trying to read books, trying to learn. And if you really be honest with yourself, all that stuff you're trying to learn, you think that you're trying to learn how to navigate and find the easy way, accelerate, navigate. But the truth is, and this is what they say, how did you get here? They go, you see that guy down there trying to avoid that pile of shit? I went right through it.
Boom.
I went right through it. So
with a smile on too, right? With a smile on
right.
too.
Well, that comes later.
Okay.
When you first approach fog in life, your first instinct is to shy away from it because you can't see what's on the other side. So you've been taught by your mother, father, teacher, preacher, hey, try another path. This one doesn't look safe, right? But then we learned that safe is the way. Unsafe is the way. So the first thing you do when you find the poop or the fog is you shy away. But then you read all the books and you speak to the people at the top of the mountain and they say, no, go through. Say, but I can't see anything. I don't understand. The obstacle is preventing me from seeing on the other side. Say, no, you go right through that. The obstacle's the way. There's a book called The Obstacle's the Way.
I love the book. I was hoping you would reference it. I love the book.
I am the quintessential Stoic, and it drives everybody that loves me crazy because it's very hard to get the dragon riled up about stuff that just doesn't matter. So in any case, when you start moving through the fog, which is scary at first, or navigating through the poop, it smells, it's hard to get through, you can't see where you're going. But what happens is that eventually, call it a leap of faith or just driven by motivation and all those things that drive us forward, belief and all those things that we think we need to get started. You actually learn those things along the way. But the more you play in the fog and the more you play in the shit, you start to develop fog lights, right? So the next
what a great analogy. What a great analogy.
I'm just going to tell you the truth. I just made that one up yesterday.
I love it. It's a really great one though, because it does become instinct. If you do the work, it lends itself to fog lights. I got the lights. I can see it. It's awesome. I love it.
The abnormal becomes normal. The uncomfortable becomes comfortable. The fog becomes the way. So I learned the hard way. And when I say the hard way, I'm not telling you because of the things that I went through. And Steve, I went through a lot. You don't get to the place, whenever you meet somebody in life that's spending their whole entire life, and you're one of them, helping other people, you might want to find the backstory behind it. Right?
It's not so pretty, right? It's
not pretty at all. And those that have experienced the dark are those that appreciate the light. So I always used to say, I never got the chance to meet her, but that Mother Teresa probably had one hellfire life prior, So my point is that when you start to actually acknowledge and play with this obstacles the way idea, you start to really embrace the idea. And then you realize that comfortable which is fun sometimes. We were talking a little bit about that in the beginning. It's okay to get comfortable, but comfortable is not the way. Uncomfortable is the way. So I guess what I would say is that there's this funny thing that we do as humans. You'll see that Dragon always comes around to answer the question at the end. There's this funny thing that we do as humans where we decide to depict or designate that we've had a good day or a bad day, right? Or to answer your question, that something is good or something is bad, right? So the only reason we do that is we've been programmed to think that way. We've been programmed to think the fog is not the way and the shit is not the way. So, if you think about it, all we're talking about right now is that the bad, the uncomfortable, the challenge, the struggle is the way, right? So how could we ever say that we had a bad day? So in the moment that we say we're having a bad day or a bad time or we failed, all we're doing is focusing on that and not the completely equal opposite that's always omnipresent. There's always a duality of positive and negative. We're just saying, if I say, Steve, today I had a bad day, I could also say the same sentence by saying, Steve, today I did not recognize the good. So
awesome. Really. I mean, it is so, people talk about this stuff all the time. What I really admire about you in the short term that I know you is that you've done it. You're helping other people do it. And I want my audience to get a look behind the glasses and find out who this guy is, because you're doing some crazy, crazy good work. And I'm a believer that you're only as good as the legacy you've left behind. And there's a lot of people pitching self-help, give me $15,000, I'll change the world for you, which is a complete crock of shit. You're really simple. You used one term, you and Howie Craw, who was on the show last week, and he's another amazing human being, goof-proof. If you show people the way and it's goof-proof and they don't do it, shame on them. But like when I asked Howie about it, he used the word goof-proof. I said, sign me up. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. So if you can share with the audience sort of a little bit of the backstory, the company that we're talking about, what you do every day.
Yeah. So I was in the dark, right? And I was practicing as a doctor, 80 pounds overweight because I was working 90 hours a week. I was in the throes of a divorce, which of course comes from when you never see your wife. And I would look at my kids in the morning and say, you're the most important thing in the world to me. And then I would go to work all day. So of course, I had to do something to pretend that I was happy. By the grace of God, I didn't get into drugs and alcohol, but me and food got friendly. So I found myself, sorry about that. I found myself in this place where I was totally out of integrity, teaching people about health. And by the way, everything I was treating was preventable. It was all coming downstream from emotional mismanagement, lifestyle problems, and it was showing up as disease, obesity, pain, and all that stuff. So it was just this crazy collision of me just saying, this is a waste of your time to be a doctor because it's not working for you and it's not working for them. So I decided to become a mission man, and there's so many other things I did. I started a worldwide humanitarian organization. I was in Haiti for the earthquakes. I was trying to save the world, probably to just make myself feel better about myself. But when I zeroed in on this idea that all of the problems that we're having in our world are showing up as obesity, poor nutrition, and emotional mismanagement going on right now. So I went after that. And, as you know, when you really, truly go all in and are ready for something, someone just mysteriously shows up. The universe, like it's a chess game, takes exactly what you need and puts it right in front of you. And if you're conscious enough, you'll say, oh, right, rather than just saying, oh, no. And I took a leap and I got in the best shape of my life. I went on this program that was goof proof because I had no free time in life. I knew exactly what I needed to do, but I just never did it. So I went on this program. I lost 80 pounds in about 4.5 months. And more important than that, I woke up and realized that my physical challenges were not my challenges. It wasn't that I was eating wrong and what I was eating, it was why I was doing those things. It was the relationship problems, it was the workaholism, it was the low self-esteem about not being a good father. So that's what the program did is I went on a physical journey, but baked into it, because I had a coach like Howie Craw, that baked into it gave me self-discovery and personal growth while I was evolving physically. Results don't lie. You know what I mean? Like when I do a talk in front of a room full of doctors and they all say to me, "Hey, this doesn't seem safe." What I always say is I say, "Well, let's take our shirts off and go outside and have a race. And if I beat you, you shut up." Right? Because it's about results, right? So what's happened in the past 14 years, hundreds of thousands of people getting healthy. I'm taking this company to Asia, working with people like Howie Craw. That's just, with people like Howie, your coach, we can save the world. And at the end of the day, what do I really want? I mean, the last 10 minutes of my life, what I really want, I just want to matter. You know what I mean? I grew up not mattering, and that's probably why I did so many stupid things in life. I just want to matter. I want to be significant. I want God, when he meets me one day, to say, "Hey, good job, dude."
So for me, having personally gone through the program, I think the takeaways for me was, healthy mind on top of a healthy body. I mean, when you talk like that, that's not you mentally. I know that the brain affects what the body does, and the body affect. I know this symbiotic relationship. Yet you live it. You seem free, which was like,
Come on, it's free. You know how many people make fun of me for wearing these glasses, and I don't care.
So when I met you, when I got introduced to you, I was like, this is the CEO of a really big public company. And like, I feel like I've known you my whole life. I mean, you just were really cool. Steve, tell me about you. What do you, and then like the following day you called me. I was like, what universe am I living in that this is happening? So I felt really committed. And then the point I want to make, which I'm committed about a lot, but like I was into the daily metrics of getting on the scale. I said, I'm going to do this. I have a goal. I'm going to get on the scale. And really, for the better part of my whole adult life, it's been driving me crazy. I feel good if I'm down, and like the stock market and weights. I'm doing this, and it really did affect me. And then you said, why is that the victory? Why is it not the behavior, the way you feel, the clothes you're wearing? And I was like, well, that's what I coach people on. It's about behavior, not outcomes. And so I was blown away that you fed me my own medicine, which must be an unbelievable thing to do for people.
Yeah, I mean, well, that gives me that value, and that, but in that moment, I remember that moment, that had nothing to do with me. That was about you and me loving and caring about you, and detached from the outcome of how you will receive it. I'm just going to give you the truth, right? That's what you do for us too. I've taken your classes. Most people, this might be a nice little visual to end on. Most people are trying to get into town in a rocking chair. Right? Most people are in a rocking chair saying, "I'm going to town, I'm not going to town. I'm going to town, I'm not going to town."
That's awesome.
That's called an oscillating pattern, right? Some people would call it a yo-yo diet, but it's an oscillating pattern, because you can work this out in business and everything. I mean, Steve, listen, I know you coach some of the best, but you've coached probably thousands. You know what I'm talking about,
Exactly.
I'm not gonna. And then as soon as they recognize they're in the rocking chair, then the big bag of bullshit comes out and say, here's why it's not working. Here's not. So what I love to do, because I know how to get in the Ferrari and get into town. Now, I learned it the hard way, but I know it's right here. Here, I'll even open the door for you. So what I love to do is, in a very, very subtle way, and it requires building a relationship and trust and respect first. I love to, you might look at it as call somebody on their own bullshit, but I love to help people become awakened and aware of unconscious behaviors that are causing the rocking chair. And then as soon as they first of all, just like you, to your credit, you're open, right? So when they're open and they go, oh, and they accept it, because if you tell me after this, hey, I would say what you said like this, I'd say, hey, I'm going to try it, right? So all of a sudden you get in the Ferrari and you start moving forward. So of course you crushed your goal. I asked him, did you reach your goal? And he says, by 5 pounds more, right? So the funny thing is that at the top of the mountain, when I asked the guy, hey, how did you get here? He's going to point down at somebody that's watching this and say, you see that guy right there and what he's going through and contemplating not doing it and not listening to the friend that's offering him help? I did it. That's how I got here.
Love it. It's the whole thing is so fascinating to me. For as a guy as committed to everything about what I do, I got in a bad place, and it wasn't just COVID. It wasn't just COVID. It was really more, I had put on a little weight. I got a little lazy, but I've always been a fad guy. Shoot me up with something, 20 days, bam, I lost all the weight, but then I got it back. This is really more lifestyle. So can you please tell the audience what the name of the company is? I really want them to watch your show, because Howie's on at 7, I'm on at 8, you're on at 9. So in closing, share the goodness that you're doing through the company and through your podcast, The Dragon Must Rise.
My podcast is you always got podcasters are always ready to do this.
I love that.
Isn't that funny? Podcast humor. So first of all, my podcast is called Rise Up with Dragon, right here.
Perfect.
And you can find it on iTunes. And why would you listen to my podcast? Because I go heavy and I challenge your brain muscle. That wet piece of meat in your skull. I'm gonna get you to understand that you can actually hack it and make it do what you want. So that's Rise Up with Dragon, and it comes about twice a week. I also do it live on my Facebook. But when it comes to, you asked me about our program and the name of it, I'm not going to tell everybody. You know why? Because they're going to go off and Google the thing and find exactly what it is about it that they don't want. So I'm not going to tell them. So if you want to find out about our program that's changing millions of lives, and now on the other side of the planet, help me lose 80 pounds, keep it off for 14 years. And I used to welcome people, say, hey, my name's Dr. JC. I'm a recovering bullshit artist. So that's over because of the program as well. If you want to find out about this program, you go contact Steve's coach, Howie Craw, K-R-A. He's got a podcast called How We Doing It, and he's an amazing individual. Yes, sir. Let him talk to you about what you actually want and why you don't have what you want. And let him put the puzzle together for you. That's the organic way. And I just saved all of you from all that crap that you're used to doing by looking for why you can't or won't do it.
So I will respect you and I will tease it in the upfront. So I will not give it away. It blows my mind because the fact that the day you took the course, there was a client of mine in California who was on the same.
Yeah, that was so crazy. Yeah,
is that unbelievable? What are the chances of that? That a guy in my world,
almost 2 million people on it right now. So
unbelievable. So I know you're busy. Thank you so much. You shared so much good in such a short amount of time. I love the glasses, the hat, the shtick. You are an amazing human being, and you know what? I count you as my friend, and I know we're just getting started.
And anything that you've ever done or any of your listeners have done that's stupid, we forgive you for you knew not what you did.
You be good, my brother. Take care.
Bye-bye.
See ya.